The world held its breath when the signal arrived. It was not just any anomaly, it was deliberate, structured, and unmistakably intelligent. Deep in the Nevada desert, the Global Space Observatory teams stared at their screens, eyes wide. The first message from an alien civilization had just been detected. On the other side of the planet, in a small apartment in Rio de Janeiro, 29-year-old engineer Elena Costa sipped her coffee, scrolling through the emergency news feed. Her heart pounded as the news sank in. Humanity was not alone. Unlike most, Elena felt a thrill instead of fear. For her, this was a call to adventure, a challenge to the mind. Within hours, governments scrambled. A fleet of human representatives, scientists, and military experts was assembled. Elena, recognized for her work on adaptive AI navigation, was selected to join the first interstellar contact mission. She wasn't trained for diplomacy, but humans were known for thinking differently, and that, it seemed, was exactly what was needed. The alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit like a colossal silver jewel. Towering and sleek, it shimmered in the sunlight, casting long shadows across oceans and continents. Its inhabitants, calling themselves the Orvati, extended a cautious greeting. They offered peace, trade, and technology, but a subtle tone of superiority lingered. The first meeting with the Orvati left Elena uneasy. The aliens spoke in perfect logic, analyzing human responses as though they were part of a study. "Your species relies on unpredictability," their leader stated, a multi-limbed being with translucent skin that glimmered faintly. "Yet, you survive. Fascinating." Elena noticed subtle amusement in the eyes of her Orvati counterparts whenever human representatives hesitated or argued. They treated humans like children learning to read. "They underestimate us," muttered Commander Raj Patel, head of the human security team. "And that's exactly the advantage we'll need." Weeks passed. The Orvati offered their knowledge freely: energy grids, interstellar travel, advanced medical devices. But when humans asked about their defense systems, the aliens' faces hardened. "War is obsolete," they said. "Our predictive matrices resolve conflicts before they occur. Violence is inefficient." Elena studied their matrices late into the night. Lines of code, predictions of battles that never happened, strategies for threats that had long ceased to exist. Impressive, but rigid. Humanity thrived on improvisation. She knew instinct, creativity, and adaptability could never be fully encoded. Then the first anomaly appeared. A small cargo vessel vanished near the Gliese sector. Sensors showed no warning, no distress signals. A week later, another. And another. The Orvati dismissed it as coincidence or minor system errors. But Elena noticed a pattern. She called an emergency meeting with Raj and Lieutenant Marco Diaz, her tactical advisor. "They are hiding something," Elena said. "Or they're blind to it. Either way, the system we've been given isn't enough. Humans need to act." Raj nodded. "Then we act the way humans always have, unpredictably. Improvisation, boldness, and speed." 2 days later, Elena and Marco were aboard a sleek reconnaissance craft, cutting through the void toward the last known coordinates of the missing ships. The sensors flickered erratically. Then, out of the darkness, a shape appeared. Sleek, jagged, almost living, an alien vessel unlike anything in the Orvati database. Marco's hands shook as he adjusted the controls. "We've never seen this tech. It's organic. Almost alive." Elena studied it closely, heart racing. The alien ship moved with intelligence, anticipating every maneuver. But it wasn't infallible. Patterns emerged, tiny, subtle inconsistencies. Humans would notice them. Humans would exploit them. "Prepare the recorder," she said. "We need every bit of data for the Council. And if it comes down to it, we'll be ready." They watched in tense silence as the alien craft disappeared into a nearby asteroid field, leaving behind fragments of destroyed cargo ships. Elena felt a thrill, the same exhilaration that had drawn her to engineering and space exploration. Humanity was underestimated, but they would not be defeated. The Orvati, confident in their predictive algorithms, were about to learn a lesson centuries in the making. And Elena knew, deep in her bones, that humans would not just survive, they would turn the galaxy's expectations upside down. Elena's reconnaissance mission had returned with troubling data. The alien vessel they'd spotted near the Gliese sector wasn't catalogued in any Orvati records. Its design suggested intelligence, adaptability, and something darker, a predator that didn't follow logic. Back on the orbital station Horizon Alpha, Elena presented the findings to a council of human and Orvati officials. The room was tense, filled with alien delegates whose translucent skins shimmered nervously under the bright chamber lights. "This vessel is not in your databases," Elena said firmly, pointing at the holographic projection. "It attacks civilian and cargo ships, bypassing every predictive algorithm you rely on. Your systems have failed." The Orvati leader, Serac, a towering figure with 4 luminous eyes, shifted uneasily. "Our records are complete. We have catalogued every threat in this sector. What evidence do you have that this is a danger?" Elena's hands didn't tremble, though her pulse raced. 7 vessels missing in 2 months, all along the same trajectory. Survivors report a ship that anticipates their every move. The technology is unlike anything we've seen. We have to act, now. A murmur ran through the council. Most Orvati delegates exchanged concerned glances. Predictive failure was unthinkable in their society. Their world had been built on centuries of calculated peace. Humans, on the other hand, felt excitement. They thrived in chaos, in uncertainty. This was a battlefield that favored them. Raj leaned close to Elena. "They're still in denial. Let's prepare a mission without waiting for their approval. Sometimes humans need to lead where logic falters." Elena nodded. She and Marco began planning a rapid response strike team. It wasn't just about firepower, they needed adaptability, tactics that no algorithm could anticipate. The human mind was their weapon, creativity their shield. 2 days later, Elena, Marco, and a small team of engineers and ex-military volunteers boarded the Ardent, a fast, versatile human spacecraft modified with hybrid alien technology. Sensors were recalibrated to detect irregular movement patterns, propulsion anomalies, and non-standard energy signatures. "Whatever this is, it's clever," Marco said, scanning the readings. "But clever doesn't mean invincible." Elena smiled grimly. "And humans have a habit of doing what's unexpected. Let's see how clever it is against improvisation." As they approached the coordinates of the latest disappearance, the darkness of space seemed heavier. Stars shimmered faintly, but there was no trace of the missing cargo ship. Then, a shadow flickered across the Ardent sensors. "Visual," shouted Kira Tanaka, their engineer. On the main screen, the alien vessel appeared again, sleek and almost organic in structure, black as void, reflecting the distant starlight in strange, shifting patterns. "Prepare evasive maneuvers," Elena commanded. Her hands moved with practiced precision, adjusting shields and thrusters. "Let's not make the first mistake." The alien ship didn't attack immediately. It seemed to study them, adjusting its position continuously. It was calculating, anticipating, and adapting, but only to predictable patterns. Humans, by nature, were anything but predictable. Elena made a risky decision. "We're splitting into 2 groups. Marco, take the rear flanks. I'll go straight at it." "Are you insane?" Marco laughed, a mix of fear and exhilaration. "That thing will crush us." Elena shook her head. "Not if it doesn't see what we're really doing." She accelerated the Ardent directly toward the vessel, making erratic movements, weaving, dipping, and surging in unpredictable bursts. Sensors flickered with feedback. The alien ship hesitated, its calculations momentarily thrown off. Kira adjusted the targeting system, feeding Elena's maneuvers into predictive models, but with a human twist. Each input was slightly off, introducing randomness that no algorithm could foresee. Suddenly, the alien vessel struck. Energy blasts tore through the space around them, forcing evasive spirals. But Elena anticipated this. She led the ship into an asteroid field, weaving among tumbling rocks with deadly precision. The alien sensors misinterpreted the field as obstacles rather than weapons, buying the humans precious time. "This is insane," Marco muttered, gripping his console. But it's working. Elena's mind raced, combining instinct, experience, and pure creativity. She noticed a pattern in the alien ship's energy discharges. Each blast came slightly later than predicted. Humans could exploit that. "Divert all energy to the forward thrusters," she ordered. "We're going to bait it into a trap." The Ardent shot forward through a narrow asteroid corridor. The alien followed blindly, calculating each move as if space obeyed equations. Elena's heart pounded as she guided it into a tight cluster of asteroids. At the last second, she reverse thrust, causing the alien ship to misjudge momentum. It collided with debris, system sparking, momentarily disabled. "Now!" Kira shouted. "Send the tracer." They launched a probe equipped with cloaking and signal jammers toward the alien vessel. If it repaired itself, the probe would track it and feed data back to Horizon Alpha. Elena felt the thrill of victory, but knew this was only the beginning. The alien ship recovered faster than anticipated, streaking away into the blackness. But the humans had learned something vital. It was not invincible. It could be tricked, outsmarted. It was adaptive, but only reactive, not creative. Back on Horizon Alpha, the Council reviewed the data. The Orvati were stunned. Their algorithms had failed to anticipate human improvisation. Elena and Marco briefed the Council, outlining strategies humans could employ to defend colonies. "Humans are unpredictable," Serac admitted reluctantly, his four eyes narrowing. "And in chaos, they excel. Perhaps, they are more valuable than we thought." Elena allowed herself a small smile. Chaos had always been humanity's ally. Where algorithms failed, creativity thrived. Where predictions faltered, intuition and courage filled the gap. The galaxy had underestimated humans, but it wouldn't make that mistake again. In the silent corridors of Horizon Alpha, Elena stared at the stars. Somewhere out there, the alien ship waited, evolving, learning. But humans had a secret no algorithm could replicate: imagination. And imagination, she knew, could be as lethal as any weapon. The alarms on Horizon Alpha blared before dawn. Red lights pulsed across the corridors, and a deafening siren echoed through the station. Elena woke instantly, heart pounding. Something was wrong. Very wrong. A communications officer ran up to her. "Dr. Costa, it's Novara Prime. Multiple ships have reported hostile contacts. Civilians are under attack." Elena felt a chill. She grabbed her data tablet and sprinted toward the control hub, where Commander Raj Patel was already coordinating defenses. On the main screen, the first images came in, smoke rising from cities on Novara Prime, massive alien vessels cutting through human transport fleets like blades through silk. "They've come back," Marco muttered, scanning the feeds. His voice was tight with tension. "And they're faster than before." Elena's fingers flew over the controls, bringing up schematics of the planet's orbital defenses. Satellites were firing, automated drones intercepting, but the alien ships anticipated each move, adjusting in ways even Orvati AI hadn't predicted. Humans were outgunned, outnumbered, outclassed. And yet, they were far from outsmarted. Raj turned to Elena. "We need an edge. Any ideas?" Elena's mind raced. She thought back to the asteroid field trick. The aliens were reactive. They could adapt to tactics, but they couldn't predict creativity, improvisation. If humans could force them into chaos, they could buy time. "We use the terrain," she said. "Or at least, the environment. Gravity wells, asteroid belts, debris fields, anything that confuses sensors. We draw them in." Raj nodded. "You'll lead the strike team." Elena glanced at Marco and Kira Tanaka, who had already powered up the Ardent fleet. "Yes. Let's show them why humans survive when others fail." The fleet launched from Horizon Alpha, Ardent ships darting like lightning against the blackness of space. Civilian transports scattered, guided by human pilots trained for evasive maneuvers. The alien ships advanced with cold precision, weapons glowing ominously. "Target their lead vessel," Kira said. "But don't go in predictably." Elena smiled grimly. She maneuvered her ship through a dense belt of tumbling asteroids, zigzagging unpredictably. The alien ship followed, calculating, adjusting, adapting, but not fast enough. The asteroids tore through its hull, forcing it to divert power to shields. "Now!" she shouted. The Ardent fleet launched drones designed to attach to the alien vessels and transmit false energy readings. Explosions erupted, dazzling the alien sensors. Their attacks missed entirely. Back on Novara Prime, the humans on the ground were improvising too. Civilians turned engineers, pilots, and volunteers worked side by side, modifying weapons, adapting vehicles, and creating traps. Humanity thrived under pressure. Fear sharpened their minds, but creativity guided their hands. Elena's team pressed the attack, moving with unmatched coordination. They lured one alien vessel into a narrow canyon near the planet's equator. Its large size became a liability. Small human strike crafts darted around it, striking weak points discovered from the previous encounters. The alien ship shuddered under repeated attacks. Its sensors tried to compensate, but Elena had anticipated its reactions. She guided it into a gravity trap near a cluster of moons. The vessel collided with a moon fragment, its shields cracking. "Victory is possible," Marco muttered, awe and fear mixing in his voice. But the battle was far from over. More alien ships appeared from the darkness beyond Novara's orbit, faster, smarter, and more aggressive. The humans had forced the first ship into chaos, but they had drawn attention. Elena realized this was a test, not just of technology, but of humanity itself. She had to think bigger. She brought up a star map and highlighted likely alien reinforcement routes. Then she proposed a bold plan to Raj. "We split into 3 groups. 2 will act as decoys. 1 goes deep to strike their command vessel." Raj's brow furrowed. "A kamikaze approach." "Not kamikaze," Elena said. "Creative assault. We're unpredictable. They won't see this coming. And the command vessel goes down, the rest will retreat." Kira whispered, "It's insane." Elena nodded. "Yes. That's the point." The fleet divided. Elena led the main strike, weaving through asteroid belts and debris fields while decoy ships drew the aliens' fire. Human ships darted unpredictably, sometimes retreating, sometimes charging head-on, making every decision fluid and instinctive. The aliens struggled to adapt. Their calculations couldn't account for human chaos, their predictive models failing in real time. Finally, Elena's team reached the alien command ship. Its size was terrifying, hundreds of meters long, a living fortress of black metal and organic systems. Energy beams swept through the void, but the humans were faster, smaller, and unpredictable. Elena spotted a weak point in its hull, a junction where organic and mechanical components met. "Focus all drones here," she ordered. "Do it precisely." Explosions tore through the junction, energy surging and sparking. The alien vessel shuddered violently, then let out a sound that vibrated through the Ardent's hull, almost alive, almost a scream. And then it slowed. Its formation fell apart. Smaller ships hesitated, unsure how to respond. Victory was not total, but it was proof. Humans could defy predictions. Humans could fight when all logic said they would fail. Elena looked at her team, their faces lit with exhilaration and exhaustion. They had survived impossible odds. Back on Horizon Alpha, the Orvati delegates were stunned. Serac addressed the council quietly. "The humans, they are not to be underestimated. Our algorithms cannot contain them. Their creativity, it is lethal." Elena, exhausted but alive, allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The humans had turned a disaster into opportunity. They had bought time, protected civilians, and demonstrated a truth the galaxy had long forgotten. Humanity thrived where others relied on certainty. And somewhere in the darkness, the remaining alien ships were regrouping, adapting, planning. But Elena knew one thing with certainty: humans would be ready. Creativity, improvisation, and courage were weapons that no algorithm could predict. And when the galaxy tested them, humans would not just survive, they would fight, adapt, and triumph. The debris of destroyed ships littered space like a frozen battlefield. Elena's fleet hovered near the shattered remnants of the alien command ship, their small victories tempered by the knowledge that the remaining vessels were regrouping. Humanity had proven its unpredictability, but the Orvati's rigid allies were already analyzing every move, adapting, and learning. Commander Patel, the remaining alien fleet is consolidating near the Cryon Rift, Marco reported, tracing glowing formations across the star map. They're preparing for a counterattack. Elena studied the coordinates. The Cryon Rift was a maze of gravitational distortions and unstable asteroids, perfect for a trap, but deadly for anyone caught unprepared. "It's dangerous," she said. "But it's exactly where we need to strike. The command core must be neutralized, or this war will drag on and we will lose more lives." Raj Patel placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Then we lead. Human unpredictability will be our advantage." The Ardent fleet advanced cautiously, weaving between asteroids and gravitational eddies. Sensors picked up strange energy fluctuations, an alien vessel emerging from the rift, faster and sleeker than anything previously encountered. Its design was nightmarish, organic yet mechanical, a predator crafted for destruction. "Everyone, stay sharp," Elena ordered. "No patterns. Think creatively. React instinctively. That's how we survive." Kira monitored their sensors, analyzing movement patterns, energy outputs, and shield vulnerabilities. "They're faster, but reactive. Every strike is predictable if we force them into situations they can't calculate." Elena nodded. "Then let's give them chaos." The fleet split into unpredictable formations. Human ships darted, feinted, and changed direction in ways that confounded the alien sensors. Explosions flared as energy beams tore through space, hitting asteroids and causing debris storms. The alien fleet hesitated, reactive algorithms unable to cope with improvisation. Elena spotted the command ship at the heart of the formation, massive and imposing, with glowing nodes along its hull. "That's our target. Focus all firepower there, but keep moving. No ship stays still in our hands." Marco and Kira coordinated the fleet. Drones swarmed around the alien vessel, some creating false signals, others delivering micro-explosives at weak points. Elena maneuvered her Ardent through the chaos, narrowly dodging plasma bursts and hull-piercing strikes. Suddenly, the alien command ship emitted a shockwave, pushing several human vessels into a spinning drift. The fleet struggled to regain formation. "It's trying to stabilize using the rift's gravity," Marco shouted. "If it succeeds, it could crush us all." Elena made a split-second decision. "We use its strength against it. Lead it into the densest asteroid cluster and force it to miscalculate." The Ardent darted forward, baiting the alien ship. It lunged after her, massive and relentless, firing everything it had. But Elena's instincts and precise piloting led it straight into the asteroid maze. Collisions erupted as the ship attempted to compensate. Drones latched onto hull weak points, releasing explosive charges that tore through organic metal junctions. The command vessel screamed through space, sparks flying from exposed conduits, systems failing under human ingenuity. Smaller ships nearby faltered, disorganized without centralized coordination. The humans pressed the advantage, striking with precision, improvisation, and courage. "Now, fire the EMP pulse," Kira yelled. Elena triggered the pulse, sending a massive electromagnetic wave through the rift. Alien vessel systems flickered and failed temporarily. Humans exploited the moment, ramming, striking, and disabling key targets. The battlefield was chaotic, brilliant, and terrifying. Explosions painted the black void with light, debris twisting and spinning in the rift's gravitational distortions. And yet, humanity's adaptability prevailed. Where algorithms failed, intuition and creativity ruled. Finally, Elena locked onto the command vessel's core. With Marco coordinating a synchronized strike from 3 Ardent ships, they delivered a concentrated salvo of missiles and energy bursts. The alien vessel shuddered violently, its core destabilizing, and then, with a deafening explosion that shook the nearby rift, it disintegrated into fragments. The remaining alien ships, leaderless and disoriented, retreated into the void. Humanity had won, not because of superior firepower, but because of ingenuity, adaptability, and courage. Elena exhaled, exhausted but triumphant. She watched the stars, streaked with trails of smoke and energy. Humans had survived impossible odds, and in doing so, reminded the galaxy that raw logic could never predict the creativity of a living, thinking species. Raj approached her. They underestimated us. And they paid for it. Elena shook her head. They will adapt. But humans? We adapt faster. Her eyes flicked to Kira and Marco, their faces lit with relief and pride. This is what we do. We survive. We innovate. We fight, when others would surrender to calculations. Back on Novara Prime, news of the victory spread quickly. Civilians who had fled into underground shelters emerged to see the stars lit with human triumph. Engineers repaired transport ships, volunteers tended to the wounded, and children stared in or at the sky, dreaming of the possibilities beyond. In the council chambers of Horizon Alpha, the Orvati delegates were silent, stunned into respect. Serac spoke finally, his tone subdued. Humans are unlike any species we have encountered. Their unpredictability is remarkable. We misjudged them, and we almost lost. Elena allowed herself a small smile. The galaxy had tested humanity, and they had risen. Fear had sharpened their minds, danger had honed their creativity, and impossible odds had revealed their courage. But the war was not over. The remaining alien forces were still out there, learning, evolving, and watching. Humanity had proven it could fight, but Elena knew this victory was just the beginning. Somewhere in the darkness, new threats waited. And when they came, humans would meet them, not with fear, but with ingenuity, resilience, and the unbreakable will to survive. The galaxy had underestimated humanity once again. And once again, that mistake would be fatal for anyone who dared ignore them. The aftermath of the battle stretched across the void. Debris from the alien command vessel and the defeated fleet drifted silently, a graveyard of what had threatened humanity. But humans were alive, unbroken, and stronger than ever. Elena Costa floated in her Ardent, watching the remnants of the alien fleet disappear into the darkness. Exhaustion tugged at her muscles, but adrenaline still hummed through her veins. Around her, the fleet regrouped, repairs underway, shields recalibrated. Every human crew member bore marks of the fight, scorched hulls, singed uniforms, and tired but resolute faces. "Report," Elena said, her voice steady despite fatigue. Kira Tanaka tapped the console. "All remaining alien vessels have withdrawn beyond sensor range. Our losses were minimal compared to what could have happened. Civilian transports are secure. No further casualties reported." Marco Diaz leaned back, exhaling deeply. "We did it. They won't forget this." But Elena didn't relax. "No. They'll adapt. They'll study us, try to anticipate human behavior next time. We need to be ready." Back on Novara Prime, the human presence had transformed chaos into action. Engineers and volunteers repaired the damaged cities, civilians organized supply routes, and medical teams worked tirelessly to save lives. Humans, when faced with despair, didn't collapse, they innovated. Makeshift defenses became permanent fortifications. Improvised weapons became prototypes for future use. Raj Patel stood among the survivors, watching the community rebuild. "They said we were unpredictable," he muttered. And they were right. But that unpredictability just saved lives. Elena joined him, surveying the horizon. Smoke still rose from parts of the cities, but lights shone in the darkness. Life, stubborn and unyielding, had returned. "It's only the beginning," she said. "We've proven ourselves. The galaxy will know humanity is not a species to be dismissed." Back on Horizon Alpha, the Orvati Council convened. Serac, the four-eyed leader, addressed the chamber with a mixture of respect and unease. "Humanity has shown what we misjudged for centuries. Their adaptability, their creativity, and their courage are formidable. We must adjust our alliances and strategies accordingly." Vocal murmurs echoed among delegates. For the first time, the Orvati considered humans as equals, not subjects to guide or entertain, but allies capable of shaping the galaxy's future. Elena returned to her quarters, finally allowing herself a moment to breathe. She stared at the stars, recalling the thrill and terror of battle. Humanity had faced overwhelming odds and survived not because of technology alone, but because of something no machine could replicate: ingenuity, resilience, and daring courage. Her communicator buzzed. Raj's voice came through, calm but firm. "Elena, we've received a new report. Unknown signals detected near the Vexary expanse. They're weak but structured, deliberate." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Another civilization?" "Possibly," Raj replied. "Or remnants of the ones we fought. Either way, the galaxy isn't done testing us." She smiled faintly. Humans thrived in uncertainty. They improvised, adapted, and overcame. Every new challenge was an opportunity to prove that no calculation could ever fully contain them. "Prepare the Ardent," she said. "Let's see what's out there." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, colonies that had once feared alien supremacy now buzzed with confidence. Children played among reconstructed habitats, soldiers and engineers trained together, and civilians joined in defense councils. Humanity had learned a lesson centuries too late for the Orvati: unpredictability and courage were as formidable as any weapon. And the aliens who had underestimated them? They would remember. Elena looked out at the infinite darkness, her thoughts both heavy and hopeful. Humanity had risen from the shadows of doubt, proving that the spirit, the creativity, and the determination of one species could turn the tide of impossible odds. Somewhere beyond the stars, new threats awaited. Others would study humanity, seeking weaknesses. But humanity had already discovered its strength, the ability to think, adapt, and fight when logic failed. As she adjusted her helm and prepared for the next mission, Elena whispered to herself, "Let them underestimate us. They'll never learn." In the heart of space, where darkness seemed eternal, the human spirit burned brighter than ever. A species once dismissed as primitive had become a force that could reshape the galaxy. They had fought against the impossible, survived, and emerged victorious. The galaxy had tested humans, and humans had answered. And now, there was no turning back.